Welcome to the Book Dormer. We're actually doing a book haul. This is the first book haul video I've posted, but here in April, I had a ton of books come in. Also, because of our Fantasies bingo, I had to go buy several books, several ones I had on my eye on, so I snagged those in. And it turned out to be a little bit larger than I thought. Also, I had some orders that had come in. So we've got quite a bit to look through. So let's get going on it and see what we've got coming. First one we've got going up, Black Tongue Thief. Main reason I bought this, I was 2021 Christopher Bruman. Main reason I bought it, one, it's got incredible good ratings. 4.2 on Goodreads. And Goodreads, they slam fantasy books when they see them ahead of time. Actually, they seem to slam every book. And 4.6 on Amazon. Has a sequel coming out in June, which was really what got me looking at it. And so this is a book where Kinch, who is a thief, has to pay back thief training and makes the wrong mark. Apparently, the handmaiden of the goddess of death is not the right person to try to rob. Obviously used. Got off Pango. But meets most of my requirements. And you can kind of see through the pages. One of the things I like about hardbacks, a good hardback, you can't see through the pages. Like we were at a Books A Million branch yesterday, and I'm looking through their special editions, and they're nice and leather. You can read through them. I was like, I don't want to see the page behind me. All right, next up. So that one's coming. Not sure actually when I'm going to read it, because I buy more than I can read. Yeah, sorry, I'm not one of the 10, 15 books a month people. I got to go a little bit more at pace. Next up, Black Griffin. Mercedes Lackey and Larry Dixon, set in a world's prehistory. And this is from 1994. If you play along with that, there's a square where you have to read a book from the 1990s. Now, I had Assassin's Apprentice waiting, but there's also a rule in hard mode that you have to have a book, you have to have something published by one of the authors in the last 5 years, which Robin Hobb has, because she does have a small story out in the last 5 years. But this would count for you if you're looking at that. Maybe one or two different ways you could do it. That's Black Griffin. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, they're still publishing from this series. It's 1994, and they're publishing a book in this series this year. Gotta love a book that's got a lot of history and a lot of people following it. Next up, Gunmetal Gods. Oh yeah, that's... I don't know how I never read this. 2020, Zamil Akhtar. Game of Thrones meets Arabian Nights. Yep. And if you like your bingo squares, Eldritch Creatures is a bingo square. In fact, actually, I'm going to pick it back up. Big, thick book. What do we got here? What do you think? It's about $4.50 maybe? It's got things at the back. Oh, it's in the upper fours. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those things is you read a lot of fantasy. For the YA folks, or the folks who read smaller novels, a lot of fantasy novels nowadays are hitting 600, 700 every time. And that's going to slow down your pace, right? You're only going to read so many of those a month. So it's really nice to try to mix in. You can tell I try to mix in a pretty good variety, especially some of the YAs that are like 300. A lot of fun. Speaking of that, Mal Goes to War. Brand new. This one's 2024 by Edward Ashton. Yeah, Ashton. The humans are fighting again. Go figure. So it's a dark comedy set in a techno-thriller's skin, as they describe it. Oh, I kind of like that. And, wait a minute. Sub 300. What is this, a novella? You can tell fantasy readers when you start thinking to yourselves, under 300, that seems like, that's like just our extra stuff, right? But no, this looks like a really fun book. And I'm looking forward to it. Probably do this one pretty soon. It might have been next in line, except something showed up, and I don't know how I got it, because it showed up 2 days early. In fact, it actually showed up earlier this week. I didn't realize this is actually being published in 2 days from now. I'm filming this on Sunday, and it's going to be out in a couple days, but it got sent to me ahead of time. Ocean's Godori by Elaine Yu Cho. I probably completely butchered that. Apologies. The Alliance is based out of Korea, so it's very much like a Korean-style sci-fi. And they're calling it Becky Chambers Meets Firefly. All right, I love Firefly. I read some Becky Chambers. So let's see what it can really kind of hold through. I find Becky Chambers in my style, she might be a little more tempered on her pacing than I like. I like things to actually happen. But anyways, she's well loved, so maybe it just didn't work for me. I won't call it that way. Let's see. Next up, I've got one. God of Endings. Wait, that's not me making an effect on it, by the way. That's it's kind of neat looking cover, right? Jacqueline Hollins, God of Endings. I'm trying to peek to see if I gave myself a little happy note about it. I did not. Oh, there it is. Vampire. Oh, it's Vampire. Yeah, so she turned into vampire in 1834. Now running an elite fine arts school in upstate New York. Took me a little while to remember this one. I haven't read it yet. Oddly enough, this is my lowest rated in this haul. 3.8 on Goodreads, but 4.3 on Amazon. So I wonder if this isn't one of those people got it and they're not fans of the genre. And then they get hold of it and go, oh, I didn't realize it was that style of vampire novel, right? Because a lot of people have different backgrounds on what they came to vampires from. I mean, I think I came from Necroscope and the Vampire the Masquerade games, which is a very different world than if you come from the pretty vampire world. God of Endings. All right, one I've actually already read. We got it, went down on Tuesday, was April 9th, and was at MacArthur Books. It's a bookstore here in Carmel, Indiana. And the bookstore actually gaslighted me. I went in looking for this because I knew this book was available. Which is The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. I actually really liked the book. I already finished it. I ripped right through this book. Starring Lucia the Scallion, which apparently is somebody who works in a medieval kitchen, kind of like a kitchen helper. Or, if you like to say, the Magic Jew, because she's a magic Jewish lady, which seems great. Did I mention it's set in Inquisition Spain? Yeah, that's a problem all of a sudden. So magic does exist. It's rarer, and a lot of it's fake. But magic does exist in this world, but miracles are owned by the church. And so it's always a little bit of a problem. All sorts of people around her trying to use her and take her credit and be the one to bring her to the king and show the king this so that they can get favor because they brought her somebody who might be able to like make ships for his armada, which of course had just sunk. We meet Sant'Angelo. Yeah, I'm going to call him Sant'Angelo. No, I don't know. Who knows? Right. That's one of those that's funny. It's got an accent mark, but I'm like, was it meant to be two words? One word? He's kind of a mysterious teacher. They definitely have chemistry. So you've got that plot going along. I don't want to get too deep into what all is going on with this book. But yeah, nice version too. But I mentioned the bookstore gaslighted me. All right, so I walk in and I see the new releases section. I look at it, boop, not there. I go over, start perusing through the fantasy section and found a couple things. Oh, heck, I got another book over there I got to snag off the shelf to bring. I forgot about that one. I don't even know what it's about, but it looked cool, so I brought it home. I go back, my wife's standing there, and she goes, hey, have you seen this? And holds it up. It was on this. I'm like, where'd you find it? She goes, it was on this table. I'm like, I looked at this table. The owner of the store was in there, and she had just put it out. So in between me looking at that table and my wife looking at that table, she put it out. So pretty funny. Gaslighting somebody. Let me snag that other book. By the way, we actually are in the book dormer. We're just facing backwards. I thought I'd show the accent wall for a little bit. I also got Primitives by Eric Krauss. In the ruins of a dying world, the darkest sides of humanity are revealed. All right. I have no idea. An absolute page turner from the start, says somebody. Cool. All right, it looks cool. And it felt good. And it meets my requirements of I can't read the page through it. So it got to come on home too. Sorry, I forgot to write up. I don't know. Let's see when this one was published. I like to try to find that stuff for you. It's simply a new book. 2022. All right. Somehow slipped through the radar. that is the end of what I would call the regular books. Because now we have the more special editions, the extra pieces I've bought. I mean, the Familiar is definitely a special edition. So I was kind of doing that as my lead-in towards some of the fancier things. But, yeah, I forgot about the primitives. So sorry about that, primitives. All right, let's start snagging. We've got a few of them coming in over here. First off, I've got a series of 4 of them I snagged. I'm just going to bring them all up at once. This is the Beautiful Books version, or what else do they call this? They called it the Beautiful Books, Harper Muse, the painted editions. I saw these on a YouTube or a Facebook ad from a company who was like, oh, look at our editions. And I'm like, oh, that's neat. And then I looked at them, like, oh, all right, they're decently expensive. I thought to check them and just Googled and found on Amazon for like half the price. Oh, you had nothing to do with these. You're just selling books for, yeah, I don't mind. Obviously, I like to go to my local bookstores, like to support them. I'm not big on mail order places at double the price. But check these out. Frankenstein. And really nice editions. Boom. Gold edged. There's pictures in them. There's a little, artwork throughout. There actually is quite a bit too. You can see it everywhere. There's a green on that edge. I don't know if you can see in there. Everywhere there's green on the edge is drawings. Mostly can't see through the page. You can kind of see through the page a little bit. Anyways, first one up, Frankenstein, 1818 novel, Mary Shelley. Right, often considered to be the first science fiction novel, which is funny because she was actually writing a horror, but of course, science fiction and horror can overmatch. Her husband at the time, well, before he died, Percy Shelley, the poet, John Polidori and Lord Byron are all in Geneva, Switzerland. And John and Lord Byron and Mary had a contest to see who could write the best horror story. And boom, the world gets Frankenstein out of it. Nice contest. Yeah, I'm super excited about this book. This is actually a really nice copy of it. So I'm super excited to have it. Next up, and we're going to see these. I've actually still got 3 of them in their little slip sleeves they come in. The Mysterious Affair of... Oh, what was it? Mysterious Affair at Styles. I always forget that one. This is Agatha Christie's. Oh, yeah, looking good, right? Again, another one of these looking pretty good. Not a ton of art. Oh, actually, there's some pretty interesting little... Well, I like when they have the little extra things. And, of course, you have the printed. Same kind of thing the last section had. These series... This was Harper Muse. They brought out 3 series of them, 4 books each. They brought them out in 2022 and 2023. This is 4 of the 12. 3 of them are like The Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion, which if I wanted those, I'd go borrow my wife's copies. And several of them are children's. So I got 4. I think I got 4 of the 5 I thought about getting because I can't help myself. They're actually also pretty decently priced. So this one, Mysterious Affair of Styles, this is written in 1816. Or 1916. I wrote it. 1916. First published in the U.S. in 1920, United Kingdom the next year. This is the first of the Hercule Poirot, her famous detective, who appeared in 33 novels, 2 plays, 51 short stories. And this is the one that kicks it off. So I'm excited. We went and saw, A Haunting in Venice, which was, one of hers. Based on it, at least. I mean, people, of course, will adjust as the years go by. What do they call that one? Every murderer is probably somebody's old friend. Yeah, I can go with that. All right, next up, of course, a classic. There's another one of those that I've read, but I wanted to have back again, which is Great Gatsby. I like Great Gatsby in school. I don't know, a lot of people seem to, like, you read people online, the books that they don't like from school. For whatever reason, Gatsby worked for me. All right. There's a lot of Great Gatsby editions out. A lot of very good Great Gatsby editions out there. And this is kind of subtle. But again, right price. Looks nice. Oh, check this out. I don't know if you can hear this or not. Let me see if you can hear these. You can actually hear where the pages were stuck together. Always kind of funny. All right, Gatsby. What do we know about Gatsby? It was published in 1925. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Yeah, that was 1694. And the last one of these, the Sherlock Holmes. Well, the Return of Sherlock Holmes. 1905. Bunch of short stories about Sherlock Holmes. Again, 1760. $17.60 to get it. So, yeah, very nice and very thick. Lot going on here. Even got drawings. I'm a sucker for drawings. I'm a sucker for a book that just feels good and looks good. Especially feels good. I'm kind of, I know it's kind of petty, but I like a book that just feels good in my hand. And that feels good. All right. Oh, in case you're wondering, that's small. It's not small. I just got big hands. All right. We got a few more special editions coming in and then a couple of the boxes over on the side. I don't have a lot of these subscriptions, but I do have the ability to find things, including... I was trying to slide it off. I was trying to be all subtle. Did you see that? That was a fail cake and a half. There it goes. Gods of Winter Wood, or Gods of Weird Wood. Gods of Weird Wood. R.J. Baker. Oh, when did this one come out? This one is 2023. R.J. Baker. It's book 1 and 2. Pretty decently rated. 4.1 on Goodreads, 4.4 on Amazon. This is the BrokenBinding edition. Actually, I haven't opened it yet, so I'm excited to see what I've managed to get. Because every so often you get people who've got subscriptions on BrokenBinding. They can only skip so many. They got the book, and now they turn around and trade them around to people who would rather have them. Yeah, kind of funny how it covers through there. I like that quite a bit. That's a good looking copy. Oh, it is assigned. So it's signed and numbered. Sweet. Hopefully I can get the second one in the same numbering. Hopefully I'll have to write BrokenBinding and see if that can work out. Oh man, that feels good. And you can it's so tempting to just start sniffing them, but then you look really weird on the internet. Not that I don't look weird anyways on the internet. Little bit of damage on the dust cover, just a little. I'll probably have to get some binding. I think I got some library tape. I can try to keep it from getting worse. A little bit, but I mean, you buy used, you're running risks, right? All right, let's hop through. So a couple more BrokenBindings. If you haven't seen these, this is how BrokenBinding sends their books. I'm already pulled these out of the boxes. We got 3 boxes coming. Let me untie this thing. It's so hard not to want to save these, but then why would I save the wrapping? Try not to make a super noise on it though, and deafen everybody. Caesar Soldier. First up in a series, there's going to be a 4 series from Alice Girl. This is from 2024. It's historical fiction. It's Mark Antony and his early years and his rise till he reaches to become Julius Caesar's right-hand man. Let's see. Signed and numbered. It's number 27. Considering I got off public, maybe there's not a lot of historical fiction fans on that site. I don't know. I'm excited for it, and I already got the second one on the way. So I'm gonna get 2 books in. And BrokenBinding seems to do a really good job with actually finishing their series, which is credit to them, because how often do publishers bring out a special edition of the first book and then never bring out a second, third book? Or they bring out, like, a book comes out in paperback for the first edition, it gets popular, and then they bring out hardbacks. So now I've got a paperback and 2 hardbacks. It's like, I kind of like to have them. There is something to be said for having them all be similar. All right. The other one in here is kind of a giveaway because it says it. This Sunbringer. This is the follow-up to Hannah Kamen. Oh, what's Hannah's name? Hannah Kaner. Which is God Killer from last year. This one came out March 12th of this year. I loved God Killer. It was a fantastic story. Very, very good characters. Every one of the main characters had depth, and I liked them all. which is rare. I mean, it's kind of hard to get 3 character POVs and actually have you like all of them. And this one's still going to follow 2 of the 3 characters from the first book. I don't want to give spoilers away. And one of them, Inara, I'll give that one away. Inara's still around. But she is, she's absolutely Tress. I mean, every time she talked, I kind of pictured it as Tress from the Admiral's Sea. Because I read Tress first. And it's another one of these just very genuine, nice, kind characters that you can't help but root for. I don't know, I'm trying to rip it here live, and yeah, you can tell how that's working. All right. I guess I should have just went Destructo mode. Sunbringer. Now, I do have a little bit of a problem that my first edition is just a paperback on it. I much prefer hardbacks over paperbacks. That's my style. I know some of you are the opposite. You like to be able to take them and bend them, maybe even break the spines. You're monsters. Now, paperbacks, okay. Spine breaking, I have my issues. But Sunbringer. What do we got here? Again, another numbered edition. Very nice. Signed. BrokenBinding's coming through. I do love my end papers. It's so hard not to love them. Blue colored, good sized book. Man, I tore through God Killer. That was just absolutely fantastic. I didn't make a video on it because, well, I mean, it's kind of well known. Maybe I should at some point. Maybe I'll do one with the 2 of them once I get this one through. That's Sunbringer, which brings me to the boxes. So I had already taken those out of the boxes, obviously. Now, something kind of funny. I went digging online because I wanted to find something from Fairy Loot. I just wanted to see what they look like. So I went digging on a used sites till I found one. That was a book I wanted. Right, that's the key. There's a bunch of books I don't want, and you look at their Goodreads ratings, like, wow, you're at like a 3.5. Somebody made a special edition of your book. And especially if it's not in the genre that's your go-to, then it's even harder at that point. So I found this one. Let's see. Oh, I apparently knew it this whole... What? Yeah, somebody actually just sent it in the box it came from them. What did we get? I got a happy reading bag. Well, that's awesome. I've not seen these before. And what did we get out of it? Bonesmith for a pretty decent price. I mean, it's like what you would have paid for an edition in that bookstore. Ready Your Blade, Defeat the Undead. All right, what's it called? This is from Nikki Powell Preto. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And it said it's Gideon the Ninth meets White Walkers from Game of Thrones. I love Gideon the Ninth. I thought that was just a fun series. A little confused by the last book. Nona confused me a little bit, especially because I did those on audio. And so a lot of times when you're getting into an audiobook, right, you're just dragged along by the narration. And then you dragged along by the story, and it's a little dark. You're out walking, because I use a lot either working out or working in the yard or walking the dog. And then I got that one. And I'm like, what is going on? There's like a kid. But anyway, back to this. Whoa. All right, that might be worth it right there. And there's a ton of copies of this book available, which has a pretty good rating. That's kind of the confusing part. Occasionally, books don't click with the community they're given to. Maybe, Game of Thrones and Gideon the Ninth, maybe that doesn't fit with the romantasy crowd. Maybe it does. I don't know. 2023. Ooh, you can get a little card. Ah, little artwork. Same picture as there. All right. They got that picture a lot. They're getting good money out of that drawing. Oh, and there's some dude in the back. Again, another one. Looking forward to it. And that's actually. Let me see how my test. I can kind of see through the pages. All right, looks really good. Pages a little thin. I do not have a Fairy Loot subscription, in case anybody's wondering. That was a Pango find. All right, 2 more to go, and we'll get over. Man, I thought I was going fast on these, but there's so many books. This is ridiculous. This is like 3 months worth for me. So that means obviously I'll stop buying new books. Right? All right, this is what they come in. Have you ever had a broken binding? I think I know what book this is. We'll find out here in a second. Holy cow. I love Britain. I like the British book companies come with this stuff, which I never see in the States. And then, yeah, talk about they're ready to keep this stuff safe for you. Well, open that one up. We'll get to there again. Down up. And this is the book that broke the world. A little smaller than I was kind of picturing. Let's see. Which I know they tell you what size it is. That's just my brain. Let's get this sucker opened up and see what we have inside. This is the follow-up. This Mark Lawrence wrote The Book That Wouldn't Burn. That was a big, big hit. We've got sitting right over there in a very large edition because, again, this is the broken binding, and that one went for a lot, so I think I just have a standard American hardback on it. Ooh. What we got looking on this? Oh, at broken binding. Sometimes you check them out. Make sure to see if there's anything on the outside cover. Nope. Again, numbered edition. Looking nice. Good end cover. Oh, actually, kind of plain on that. That's kind of funny, actually. I was waiting for all the prettiness. Still good edition. Let me snag a book that wouldn't burn. I got right over there. You can see the size difference. The sequel went down in size. What is this? Empire of the Damned versus Empire of the Vampire? Which apparently are near the same in book pages. I'm still trying to figure out how my editions are radically. One is like double the size. I'm like, it feels like a hefty. But yet the pages look the same. I was like, I'm very confused by that. All right, one to go. This is a book I've already had, but I really wanted, and this was something we've been waiting around for. Coming in, just snag the box. It's Folio Society. This is one of my all-time favorite books. Which you can find how much books are tied to the individual. Because this is one of my favorite books. And I'll find people who say this is like their least favorite of the author. And that they love other ones so much more. Wow, this thing is well wrapped. There's that British stuff again. By the way, can we just talk about this for a second? How much it's great to get a book from the UK. UK, you all win this round. I mean, we occasionally get our books faster here in the States, but man, does the UK win on the covers, on the quality of the books, on the special editions. American Gods. I love American Gods. Oomph. Still in its wrapper. I'm going to keep it in its wrapper until I get to where I want to read it. But man, again, I mean, I've read American Gods. American Gods had it changes some of your writing. Like I was writing a Storm Chaser novel at the time. Holy cow, all of a sudden I have to start watching not to name like how Neil did every chapter. Because he would introduce the chapter and the population of the town they're in. And it was like, it's so tempting to do. It's like, no, you can't do that. Neil did that. But yeah. I'm going to slide it right there in my little nook. Oh yeah, that looks good. Wow. Well, I should probably get to reading, shouldn't I? See, right now, finishing up Empire of the Vampire. That's my current read. And then I'll hop over to... Actually, I don't know. I'll probably start checking off some bingo squares is what I need to do. And I think I've got some here. All right. Good seeing you, folks. Thanks for hanging out with the book haul. Hopefully it wasn't too ridiculous. I'm not going to do too many massive buys like this in a single month. It just happened to coincide with timing where I had it budgeted and our fantasy starting there, the bingo. Thanks for coming. I'll see you next time.